Instagram for Realtors. This will be the most comprehensive breakdown of exactly what you need to do on Instagram if you want to generate consistent closed deals for free with clients coming directly to you. The strategies I'm going to share with you are what agents just like you have used to go from no experience on Instagram to closing over $100,000 in commission in just 12 months with zero experience. Now I'm going to walk you through the 4 types of content that you need to create if you want to generate consistent free leads and close deals. Then I'm going to show you 4 specific Instagram profiles that show you exact examples of those types of content so that you know exactly what you need to create. After that, I'm going to break down the Instagram algorithm. I'll pull up my iPad and visually draw out and show you how to understand how you can crack the Instagram algorithm to get thousands of views and thus consistent free leads. After that, I'm going to give you the exact ChatGPT prompt that will give you all of the video ideas that you need in order to put out the right type of content every single week. And finally, I'm gonna wrap up with giving you the exact plan, exactly what you need to do on a weekly basis to break $100,000 in commission in the next 12 months with clients coming directly to you. So you'll get all the examples and everything you need in order to understand what to post on Instagram to get free leads. Now, before getting started, I want to mention that I do have a brand new free 90-minute training specifically on short form content, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. If you would like to get access to that training, just comment Instagram below and I'll make sure that you get access to that training. So let's start diving in and show you how to leverage Instagram as a real estate agent to break 6 figures in commission. What's up? My name is Mike Sherrard with eXp Realty, and I've trained over 6,000 agents just like you to leverage social media to skyrocket their production. Now, before getting into the 4 types of content that you need to create, I want to mention the mindset that you need to have with Instagram to get incredible results. There's 2 critical things that you need to understand. The first is connection over perfection. So many agents say that they're perfectionists, which is why they don't put out content. But what I want you to understand is that perfection isn't the goal. Connection is the goal. And we're actually in a really interesting time right now with social media where people don't even want perfect content. The content that is too professional, too polished, too perfect. And the reality is that perfectionism is nothing but a label. It's a label that people give themselves to give them an excuse as to why they can't take action. But you need to understand that confidence comes with experience, not before it. Perfectionism doesn't even exist. I can take any video or post that somebody thinks is perfect and poke 100 holes in it. So going forward, I want you to stop trying to create perfect content and start trying to create authentic, genuine, relatable, and vulnerable content that's going to allow potential buyers and sellers to connect with you. Now, the second thing that's important before walking through the content and the examples is that you need to understand top, middle, and bottom of funnel. You probably heard about the funnel before. And what this is what it takes for somebody to come into your ecosystem and become a client. Top of funnel is going to be people that are unaware of you. And these are going to be cold leads, people that aren't yet familiar with who you are. Middle of funnel is going to be warmer audiences, people that have started to get to know you a little better. When we look at know, like, and trust, people will get to know you top of funnel by seeing one of your posts. They will get to like you, middle funnel, by seeing consistent posts from you. But they will only begin to trust you, bottom of funnel, once you start to be vulnerable and you connect with them. So now let's start walking through exact examples of what you need to do. First up, the 4 types of content that you need to create. Now, before getting into this, I want you to understand something critical. Most agents complain that the only people that are following them are other realtors. Why is that the case? Well, the average agent on Instagram creates content for the 1%, which is real estate specific content, educational content for buyers and sellers. Well, the problem with that is that if that's the only content that you're creating, most other agents are gonna follow you because they want to see examples of what they should be doing. And thus, you end up just getting a bunch of realtors following you. How do you get locals to follow you? That's where you start creating content for the 99%. And what this content is going to be local lifestyle content. And I'm gonna show you the best examples of this. But that's gonna allow you to get in front of all of the people that aren't yet making a decision to buy, sell, invest, or relocate, but eventually, one day they will. And so I want to help you get in front of your entire market, so whenever somebody gets to the point of making a decision to buy, sell, invest, or relocate, you are the one that's top of mind that they want to work with. So the 4 types of content, number 1 is going to be educational content. I will give you the exact prompts of exactly what to do to create the right type of educational content to convert and generate leads from that 1% that actually is in the decision-making process right now. Buyers, sellers, investors, and people looking to relocate. The second type of content is going to be home tours. I'll show you some of the nuances of how to make your home tours perform incredibly well with little to no effort. Subtle differences that will help skyrocket your views, engagement, and leads. The third type of content is going to be behind the scenes, or content that gets people to know you on a more personal level. You'll be able to weave real estate into this, as I'm going to show you in a second, but this is content that, again, allows people to connect with you on a deeper level. The fourth type of content is going to be local lifestyle, becoming that local expert that people start to seek out when looking for things to do in your city, places to go, places to eat, all that type of content that works incredibly well for generating consistent leads. So now let's head over to my screen and walk you through these 4 profiles with exact examples of how to do all 4 types of those content incredibly well. Okay, so first we have Angie Foster, and what I want to do before going into her content is walk you through what you need to do in order to optimize your Instagram bio, specifically for lead generation. They need to have 4 critical components in your Instagram bio, and you will see this is consistent across all 4 of these profiles. So the first is going to be which markets you serve. As you can see here, Austin, that's part number 1. Second is going to be your niche. You can see here, relocating families to luxury properties. Third is going to be some sort of unique value proposition, something that's different about you. With Angie, you can see here, English and Spanish. And then fourth is going to be a call to action. As you can see, contact me here. So those are the 4 critical things you want: local market, niche, unique value proposition, and a call to action. Now, if we come down to Angie's content, I want to show you a couple of examples, because what she does incredibly well is going to be the behind the scenes relating to her family. Now, if we go back up here, I actually want to show you something first. In her highlights, you can actually see immediately what makes her unique. You can see her family is a focus, her health is a focus, she has credibility with listings as well as homes, and fashion and real stories. So right off the bat, you can see immediately what makes her different, what she cares about, and that allows people to connect with her because she puts out a lot of content, as I'm gonna show you, about her family. She has a beautiful special needs daughter, and she spends a lot of time with her, and she ends up in a lot of her content. Well, people that also have a strong focus with family will connect with her. Health and fashion, 2 other passions and hobbies that allow people to connect with her on an emotional level. So you want to make sure as well that your Instagram highlights are a clear reflection of who you are and what you care about. But coming down to her content, looking at some of the great examples, as we can see here, some of these videos, if we look at this one, let's take a peek at this video, what I did to sell my client's home.
It's a cultural divide, I'ma get it on the floor.
You really about to do it?
40 acres in the mule, this is bigger than the music.
You really about to do it?
Yeah, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence.
Then get on it like that.
Hey, I'm tripping, I'm sliding, I'm riding through the back like, bust that on a deep bro, ain't right. He a freak though, man, times. Tell them breathe. Let them boys cut across. They walk around like.
So a couple things that you can see here. Number one, she is super authentic and genuine. She has a ton of fun with it. She loves to dance around. She's got a bubbly personality with a ton of energy, and that shines through in a very genuine way. Now, additionally, you could see it painted a story. There was a lot of movement. Motion creates emotion, and the more emotion you create in the viewer's experience, the more engagement you're going to get. You can also see that she doesn't just write one sentence on her posts in terms of the caption. She writes a story every single time, sometimes in English, sometimes in Spanish, but she breaks down exactly what she does to allow people to connect with her. That's why her engagement is absolutely incredible. Now you can see her, cooking things, her getting ready in the morning, her going for a walk. You can see, again, a lot of behind the scenes content, her with her daughter. So one of the things she does is she just documents everything that she's doing and then overlays a story on top of it. So what I wanted to show you this profile for is a great example of behind the scenes and the personal side of things. This is an incredible example of that. Now let's show you a completely different style of content. We'll come over here to Andrew Vascaseno out of Denver. Well, we can look here, Denver Realtor. His niche is home tours, things to do, and places to eat. We can see a call to action as well. Now, let's look at Andrew's profile, and I'll show you one incredible example of what you should do. So you can see here, 60,000 views on burrito videos. Okay, let me walk you through this. Andrew is the local market expert, but he's also a local resource. So when it comes to the local lifestyle content, this is what you want to do. All that he's doing is highlighting where he's already eating. He's going to these places anyway, and he does a little bit of a review video and showcases it. How easy is that? And now, if we come down to some of his other content, let's look at this. You can see another thing that he does really well is he highlights the most expensive and the least expensive properties active on the MLS at any given time. With that being said, he doesn't even do a property tour of them. He just puts himself in a green screen and talks about the MLS photos. Now, the video that I wanted to show you is this right here, which is how he highlights any changes that are happening in his market to market updates or any sort of local law changes or anything that's going to impact his local market. So let's take a quick look at this video.
If you've at all been considering buying a home, this could be your year as inventory levels all across the Front Range, including Denver, are continuing to skyrocket. Fast Company put together this nice chart here showing the major metro areas around the country that have seen the largest inventory increases since 2019. And all sitting well above 19% is the Denver metro area, Colorado Springs, as well as Boulder. And out of curiosity, I went straight to the source for a lot of Denver Metro's data and pulled the data myself to see what the changes are. Right above my head there, the 9,300, that was the active listings in this last January. And comparing that to the 2019 number up here, the 7,400, we saw almost 30% increase since then. And honestly, probably the most crazy increase is seeing this 2,977, which was January of 2022, which is a 211% increase. So all that to say, there is a lot of houses sitting in the market right now, which leaves the opportunity, if you're buying, to ask the seller for concessions, maybe do a temporary buy down on your interest rate, or even a permanent buy down, whatever suits your financial situation. If you've at all been considering buying.
So let's look at this. One of the things that he's doing really well is there's motion. Again, a different type of motion. Angie's was her physically moving. Andrew's is the screen changing, his green screen effect of placing himself in different places. Also, you can see here a call to action, comment article for the full report, which drives endless amounts of leads. As we can see here, 74 comments of people, and Andrew actually generates over 200 leads a week from his content. Another thing that he does really well is 5 things to do in his city every single week. Super easy to create using ChatGPT, but this is how you become the local expert and create content for that 99% that is in your local market that's not yet looking to move. So creating content about places to eat, things to do, what's going on, event coverage is an incredible example. Now, coming to another different profile is going to be Marty Pettiford from a completely different market. One of the things I love that Marty does is, again, being vulnerable. Once you start becoming vulnerable and sharing your story, that's when people are going to connect with you. Connection equals trust, trust equals bottom of funnel equals hot leads that turn into conversations, clients, and closed deals. So looking at this post, for example, with incredible engagement, you can see she shares a story. A lot of her content, if we look at some of her posts, are all story-based. It's being very vulnerable, very authentic, very transparent, and getting people to know who she actually is. It's not just one sentence that she writes in her content. It is a story. And this is what I encourage you to do, is to share your story. Facts tell, stories sell. Once you start sharing your story, people will be emotionally connected to you. People have no problem leaving a product or service, but it is much more difficult to leave somebody that you feel connected to on an emotional level, like a friend or somebody that you have a relationship with. Now, the last profile is going to be house tours. Let's look at this. This is Rigo Guzman, and I want to show you one critical thing that he does and see if you can pick up on this. Let's watch this one video here so you can see an example of how to get your house tours to go viral.
You and your partner make a minimum of $4,500 a month combined. This is what we can get you only 30 minutes away from downtown Dallas. Let's check this home out. Follow me. You and your partner make a minimum.
So as you can see, first, there's motion, yet again, of something happening. He's walking in from the side. Second, not just here's what $249,000 gets you in Dallas, but if you and your partner make a combined $4,500 per month, this is what you can get. He has other videos. If you and your partner make a combined $60,000 per year, this is what you can get. And what that does is it makes it more consumable. It makes it more relatable to the average person that says, wow, I didn't realize I could afford that. So you can see here that, of course, he has disclaimers because you don't want to be giving out credit information or information about interest rates and things like that. So always run this by a broker or a lender in order to get approval. But this is something that you can do in order to get more engagement. But even if you didn't do that and just said, here's what $250,000 gets you out 30 minutes outside of Dallas, that is still great, even without going to the kind of gray area, depending on what your market's like. So one of the things you can see from all of these profiles is there is motion. There's consistency across the bio. You can see local market, relocation specialist. So we have his niche, off-market and new construction, credibility, and a call to action. Consistency across all of these profiles. So those are some examples of behind the scenes and personal, local lifestyle, educational, and home tours. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gonna actually walk you through visually how this all works before giving you the prompts, then giving you the entire plan. Okay, so now we've got my iPad pulled up and I'm gonna walk you through how to understand the Instagram algorithm and relate it back to those examples so that I can show you how you can get more engagement on your content. First, I wanna visually draw that funnel. And so if we look at that funnel up here, we can see the 3 different categories. So this is going to be top of funnel, this is gonna be middle, and this is gonna be bottom. So what we're looking at here, this is cold leads, this is warm leads, and this is hot leads. This is people getting to know you. This is getting people to like you. This is getting people to trust you. So how do we achieve all of those goals? Just to reiterate this. Well, if we want people to like, know, and trust us, what we need is we need good content first. So good content. And I'll show you how to create that in a second. Then we need consistent content. That gets people to like us. Then what we need is vulnerable content. And that gets people to trust you. And once you start, again, sharing that story, it's going to allow people to connect with you on a much deeper level. So now let's walk through how to understand the Instagram algorithm. Well, we've got a timeline here. And this is going to be, on average, the average video length, because people are curious about this, is anywhere from 30 to 60 seconds. Is the best length or optimal length for an Instagram reel in order to connect with people and to perform. Now, with that being said, there are 3 different parts of an Instagram reel. And what those parts are, if we look at this, is going to be right here and right here. So we have the hook, we have the value, and then we have the call to action, the CTA. These are the 3 different components of a proper Instagram reel. Now, what we want to focus on, because this is the first 3 seconds, and this is going to be the last 5 seconds, the first 3 seconds are the most important part of your video. It stops the scroll. Different from YouTube, where there's a thumbnail and a title and people make a conscious decision to click on it, this is stopping the scroll. That's why we need motion. There's 3 different hooks that you can consider putting in your video, and I will talk about exact examples of these. So the first hook is going to be a physical hook. The second is going to be a verbal hook. And the third is going to be a text hook. An incredible video on Instagram combines all 3 of them. But if we look at some examples of this, a physical hook, if we look at Angie, she was kind of dancing or moving around. If we look at Rigo, he is coming in from the side. If we look at, for example, Andrew Vascaseno, he's doing a green screen. But all of these profiles have motion, which creates emotion and is designed to maximize the viewership in the first 3 seconds. Because if you get above average viewership in the first 3 seconds, Instagram will promote your content. Now, a verbal hook is going to be something, looking at what Rigo did, is instead of just check out this beautiful property, it's here's what 250,000 can get you 30 minutes outside of Dallas. Here's what you can get for X price. Or don't make this common mistake, right? So the verbal hook is going to be something that captures attention and, most importantly, piques curiosity. Now, I know that should be a different spelling, but we're going to roll with it anyway. It should be Piqueus. So a text hook is going to be the text that shows up on the video. This is going to be, if we look at Angie's content, how I got my client's home sold. If we look at Rigo's, it's going to be what 250,000 gets you 30 minutes outside of Dallas. If we look at Andrew's, it's going to be something about the most expensive, least expensive things to do or anything like that. But this is going to be the text that shows up on the first frames of your video. And what this is designed to do is to, again, help stop the scroll. So what you want to do is you want to put a lot of emphasis on this right here, which is going to be the first 3 seconds of your video. How can you stop the scroll? By having motion. So instead of just sitting down talking like this, have something happening. Sit down, then talk. Take a sip of your coffee, then talk. Walk and talk. Come in from the side. Use a green screen. Dance around. Have fun with it. But do something that's going to maximize the first 3 seconds. If you do that, your content is going to perform better and get thousands of views more than any of your competition. Then you want to do the value. The value of your video is going to be the bulk of it, which is what you're talking about. It could be a list of things to do. It could be mistakes to avoid. It could be your buying process or selling process, or walking through a property like Rigo did. And then lastly is going to be over here, which is going to be the call to action. And the call to action is going to drive traffic. If you look at Andrew Vascaseno's video, what he did with the call to action is said, comment below if you want the entire article. If you look at some of Rigo's videos, again, you can see DM me this if you want that. But this turns views into leads. If you don't call the action, no action gets taken. So it's really critical in the last 5 seconds of your videos to call some sort of action to get people to DM you, comment below if you want to connect it to ManyChat, and thus generate leads from your content. Okay, so now we're over here in ChatGPT, and I'm going to give you the exact prompt that you can use if you want to know what to post on Instagram as a real estate agent. So let's go ahead and paste this in here. I'm a real estate agent in, maybe we will choose Andrew's market, which is Denver, Colorado. And as we can see here, I create short form content for TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts. It can be repurposed across all of them. My primary goal is to generate leads and become recognized as a local authority in Denver. Now, we want the 4 different types of categories. We want buyer tips, seller tips, relocation information, and local lifestyle content. Now, this doesn't include behind the scenes because that's going to be up to you based on, again, your lifestyle, similar to Angie Foster. But if we put this in here, as we can see, this is now going to use data to give us content that is generated the most viral views and highest amount of engagement if we look down here. So now we have all of our home buyers tips specific to Denver, educational content. We have home sellers tips in order to get seller leads, specific again, authority building, and CTA or call to action driven to get views into conversations and close deals. Now we have relocation, which is going to be sort of the lowest hanging fruit. The FSBOs or expireds, if you will, of the social media world. The easiest leads to generate is going to be the relocation focused content. And then lastly, we have the local lifestyle content, like Andrew's videos here. And we can look at top 5 brunch spots that locals swear by, right? Weekend in Denver, here's what to do. Top 3 coffee shops, date night, free things to do. These are all incredible videos to be able to get locals to share your content with their friends, with their spouse, with their kids, with their family members. This is how you grow a local audience. This is what most agents avoid, but this is where the magic lies if you want to start to get more leads from your content. Now, I do have other prompts that walk you through exactly what to say in your videos if you want to get incredible content. Again, if you would like access to my training, this is my full program here, the Social Agent Academy, that walks you through everything you need to know, from personal branding, optimizing your social media bios, getting comfortable in front of the camera, the exact equipment to use, how to make editing easy, how to get confident in front of the camera if you're scared of it, and little tricks that will help you with a camera confidence coach that has done over 5,000 consultations, how to generate over 6 figures a year leveraging YouTube, if you would like to also leverage that, short form, TikTok, Instagram Reels, and YouTube Shorts, everything that you need to get viral views and close over 100,000 in commission, how to convert organic leads with a 5-day accelerator and a 90-day plan to leverage very specific things in your CRM to convert leads, whether it's organic or through paid ads, and how to generate the highest quality leads using paid ads with weekly live coaching calls. Again, you can see the wins section. There's wins happening in here all day, every day from members that are generating consistent closed deals and clients, you know, even up to 500,000 in commission from their content. So this, again, is the entire program. If you would like access to this, you can click one of the links in the description for the entire Social Agent Academy Pro that has radically transformed the businesses of all of the agents that I shared with you today. This breaks down their exact blueprint of how they did what they did so that you can replicate this in your market. And the craziest part is, you can get access to this for less than the price of your daily coffee. So less than $3.50 a day will, instead of spending it on your business to stay exactly where you are, you can invest it into your business to get the roadmap of breaking over 6 figures in the next 12 months for free, even if you're an introvert with no experience, never put out a video in your life, and are petrified of the camera. Big markets, small markets, different languages. We've helped people from every age, race, gender, ethnicity, language, geographic location, and personality type to be able to see massive success. So if you would like to cut straight to the chase and get the entire roadmap, you can click one of those links in the description as well. Now, before giving you the entire plan, one of the questions that I get asked all the time is, what about editing? Well, there's two platforms that I do recommend using if you want to edit your videos very easily. First is going to be CapCut. Second is going to be Submagic. Both of those make editing very easy on short form. There are endless tutorials on them in order to follow along step by step, click by click. Again, all of that is in the full training in much more detail, but you can also YouTube it if you would like to know how to get started the right way. So now let's break down the plan. Exactly what you want to do on a weekly basis in order to build massive momentum and start to close deals from clients coming directly to you. Well, in order to get started, I recommend 5 Instagram Reels per week. Now, there's going to be a breakdown. 80% of your content, you need to be in it. This is so critical. The worst thing that you can do on Instagram, and I see this all the time, is turning your Instagram into a homes and land magazine. If you aren't in 80% of your posts, you're doing it wrong. Again, the goal is connection. Nobody connects with just seeing a house or some Canva template that you got from somebody. Nobody connects with that. Nobody cares. People want to get to know, like, and trust you. And the only way to do that is for you to be in the content. So 80% of the content, you need to be in it. That can be a blend of behind the scenes, local lifestyle, as well as your home tours and the educational videos. 20% of your content can be credibility. This is going to be your just listed, just sold, open houses, just to show that you are getting the job done. But the more content that you are in, the better. Now, the magic of getting people to convert comes from stories. Anybody that you'll see, Angie Foster, or any of the examples that I shared with you, the majority of leads actually come from their Instagram stories. So you want to make sure that there isn't a single day that goes by that you are not active on your stories. That is where you build the trust factor, because that is where you can be much more vulnerable, show your personal side, and some of the things that make you unique, whether you're funny, you're comedic, you're quirky, you have some sort of interesting passion or hobby, showing your family lifestyle. The stories is where the magic happens, and they die after 24 hours. You could be very raw, very real, very relatable, vulnerable as well. And that vulnerability is what allows people to connect with you, trust you, bottom of funnel, hot leads, clients, and closed deals. Now, the last part is making sure you engage. This is so important. Social media is a two-way street, right? If you are out in the middle of a networking event, you can't just expect everybody to want to come up and talk with you. You have to go start conversations as well. You can't expect to receive what you don't give. The more you give, the more you receive. So my recommendation is take 15 minutes per day and engage with other people. Write thoughtful comments on other people's content. Now, you could do a search on Instagram for a community in your market center and just comment on people in the communities you want to farm. Build authentic, genuine relationships on social media and make sure that you give and not just expect to receive. So again, 5 posts a week, 80% have to have you in the video, 20% can be for credibility. You have to be active on your stories every single day, documenting your journey and getting people to know the more authentic side of you, and then make sure that you engage with other people as well. Now, if you have any other questions about Instagram, drop a comment below because we do respond to 100% of comments. If you would like to know the roadmap, the blueprint of closing over 6 figures up to 7 figures a year as a new agent with no experience using YouTube, then check out this next video because I break that down in even more detail and you'll be shocked at how powerful and easy that actually is.